if I could go back in time, I don't know that I would choose this particular time to make amends and to act differently in the particular situation. So we were probably, this would have been like 1980, 81, probably 12. Rat pack of Gen X boys with BMX bikes, riding around, building forts in the forest, starting fires, making bombs, growing up in the best time of life. But we were just a pack of boys on these BMX bikes. You have to remember that this is 1980s. You're just coming out of the time. It's how do I explain it? I guess the story will explain it. The boys, we had the cool stuff, right? We had like mongooses, or we had Robinsons, or we had Torkers. They may not have been like the super skookum, full on race bikes, but they were not department store bikes. They were racing style bikes bought at a proper BMX bikes. There was a kid that moved there that was kind of trying to get into our group, and he got a BMX bike. I think it was a Huffy. It was a little bit older. What didn't have all the cool stuff on it. They didn't have a lot of money. And his dear grandmother, and one of the most important things you could have at that age is to have the 3 pads. You had to have the top bar pad, and you had to have the crossbar pad on your handlebars, and then you had the pad around your tough neck or your super neck. He didn't have enough money for pads to go buy the cool ones. So his grandmother, bless him, it is funny though. She was a seamstress. And this is still in the time where you still did homespun stuff. His grandmother would have been very similar. Was probably born in the 1900s. She's probably 80 when she did this for him. And for a nice thing for her son or her grandson, she thought, he's probably talking about, I want to get pads for my BMX bike like the boys have. And she says, well, I'll make them for you. And she made them out of some sort of vinyl, and they looked kind of silly. They were overstuffed, and they were obviously homemade, right? You never seen anything like that before. But the coup de grace, the thing that really put the nail in the coffin, unfortunately for this boy, was that they were black. She had hand painted on the crossbar pad on the front, like the very front of the bike where like a headlight would go. She had hand painted a small, like a Moby Dick whale, and she had hand titled and named his bike the Whaler. It was just like the Dolly Parton song of Joseph and the Coat of Many Colors. The song where they were so poor that they didn't have a coat for the girl. And so her mother had been given a bunch of rags of all different colors and such. And her mother so lovingly sewed all these rags together and made her this beautiful coat. And as she sewed, she told the story from the Bible about how Joseph had been given the coat of many colors and how amazing it was. And this little girl was so excited for it. I mean, it just is tearing my heart out right now just thinking about it. This little girl was so excited that she had a coat like Joseph did in the Bible, and she couldn't wait to go to school and to share this coat of many colors that her mother had made for her. Only to find out that when she showed up, all of the kids mocked her and laughed at her because the coat was so ridiculous. That is heartbreaking. Well, this was when he showed up with a big smile on his face. He was very happy about this. And when we saw those pads and we saw that he was riding the Whaler, well, it was brutal. It was brutal. And that's bothered me for a long time. And I don't know if he ever got over that. That was a traumatic experience, obviously, when you're 12. I would like to go back and make amends from that. Now I see it such a different light. but it does break my heart. Kids are so cruel, aren't they?